o'clock on the final hour of the Situation Room for this Friday, as well as for the week. And getting into the weekend, what are your plans for the weekend? Are you one of those who's looking to say, okay, what am I going to do for my university education? You're finding that out for yourself or finding that out for a member of your family? Well, there are ways to navigate this because there are always questions, aren't there? Where will I go? What will I do? If I'm deciding to take my education to another country, which country will I go to? Well, some of those questions are expressly answered by Cradle because they understand. You've been scammed before. I mean, there are scammers in our society who want to take your money and tell you that they can provide one or two for you. Cradle answers those questions for you and says, you know what, we've understood and we know what a university education means and we know the doors that it can open. So how about we give an opportunity for you to then say, come and listen to a plethora of different universities and the options that they have for you from different countries. We're looking at from the USA to Australia, New Zealand, Grenada, UK, Ireland, Northern Cyprus, Germany, Turkey, and the UAE, where you have options for university education. But there's a fair that takes place tomorrow. It's the Cradle Study Abroad World Fair. And what will be happening here is that universities will be on display. They come and give you the options that you have, apply on the spot and gain admission, amazing scholarships up for grabs, visa consultations right there on ground. You could come clueless in the morning and leave knowledgeable in the evening by 4. Register on www.cradle.com, dial 0799 000 444 and get all the information that you need. You walk away with something in the bag after you attend this tomorrow. All right, as we get into it this hour, for the last 4 days, there has been and continues to be a teacher strike. Secondary school teachers under the union of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers have said no. Previously, it was a combined strike with KNUT and KUPPET. And two gentlemen who join us in the studio today. The Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers is already here. Collins Oyuu is no stranger to the room. Collins, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my dear.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You look calm, but we know that there's a storm. So this is a good thing.
Yeah. In fact, I should be very calm.
You are. You seem that way.
Yeah.
There are many things that are currently happening. Hopefully we'll also be joined by Akelo Misori, who is the SG of KUPPET.
Yeah.
And we'll go into some of these conversations this morning. But very welcome to the Situation Room.
Thank
You're
you.
in the hot seat. It's hot out there. It's hot in here as well because we're looking at some of these issues and what exactly they mean. So we're glad that you've joined us again this morning. But let's welcome you properly.
Thank
CT,
you.
as you know, goes around and he gets proverbs from different parts of Africa. And he has one today, and I think I liked it from the beginning. But I'd like to hear what you think about it and how you would interpret that.
Our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the People's Republic of Algeria. Speak kindly or refrain from talking.
Right.
Seems simple.
If it's simple, yes, but I think it has a lot of meaning. When you speak kindly,
Yes.
you stand to be understood also kindly. If you don't want to be kind, then you simply stop talking. You get the wrath of whoever is listening to you.
Right. That's great because you think about you're just giving you're the one expressing, but you're never really thinking about how it's being received on the other side. If you want to be understood kindly, you might want to speak kindly as well.
You have to be kind. One good thing about a human being is when you excel in being understood.
Mm-hmm.
When whoever listens to you understands you calmly, that is when you expect a good response. If you want to begin a fight, don't be kind. Whoever is listening to you will not be kind to you as well. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Looking at the matter that we are dealing with, over the last week, let's look at last week. A time like this, both unions, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, which you oversee, as well as KUPPET, which Akelo Misori oversees, had a joint stand. And that was that they're going to withdraw teaching services from schools over very many issues.
Right.
Under the umbrella of the 2001 to 2025 CBA, where certain elements of the CBA had not been implemented or honored, as well as the most recent hiring of JSS teachers.
Correct.
When we are looking into the CBC curriculum, number
Right.
one.
Right.
So taking them from the place where they were at the beginning of the year, late last year, just interns, to saying now you must hire them under PP status.
Permanent and pensionable.
Exactly, permanent and pensionable.
Right.
And so that was the bone of contention, where the union said, look, you're not going to hire them. We also are not going to join this circus.
Right.
That was the sentiment. As of last Friday, at least, that is what was very clear, that it was when schools opened on Monday, we are not going to be teaching. On Monday morning, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, again, which you oversee, said, all right, we've had a conversation and we've decided that we're going to go back to school.
That was on Sunday.
On Sunday night, actually,
Right,
sorry.
right.
In preempting school opening for some schools on Monday.
Correct.
I beg your pardon. And that was late in the evening, that announcement that was given. So KNUT teachers said, we are going to school on Monday.
Right.
Can we look at what precipitated this decision to go back? And was it that the unions were settled, or how? Just give us an idea of what was really going on and where we stand today.
Thank you. It is true that Kenya National Union of Teachers withdrew the strike notice. There's a misconception outside here that we called off the strike. We did not call off the strike. We withdrew a strike notice.
Okay.
You know, as a labor union, first of all, you have to give some alert to the Minister of Labor before you present a notice to the employer, which of course you must copy to the Minister of Labor, indicating that you are now ready to go unless your demands are met. Key to the demands was the implementation of the second phase of the CBA, which was not honored in the month of July by Teachers Service Commission, the employer. We had other issues that you mentioned, including the employment on permanent and pensionable terms of the 46,000 intern teachers, alongside other raft of issues like the medical scheme. Teachers were getting to hospitals, they were not getting treated. There were also issues of promotions that where teachers had stagnated for quite some time, and also matters of third-party deductions. You know, teachers have loans, teachers have shares taken to SACCOs, and Teacher Service Commission was not remitting this to the banks and the SACCOs. Now, when we start with Teacher Service Commission, now it was hot. You know, when you release a strike notice, it is now hot.
Yes.
And you're ready to go. You're now protected by the law, because we had actually carried out the rest that was expected in this journey now to call a strike through the notice. Then Teacher Service Commission had to invite us to a sitting at Kenya School of Government. One of the issues that was key, and I want to repeat, the elephant in the house, was the implementation of the second phase of the CBA. You know, the first phase was implemented in July 1st, 2023. The second phase was supposed to be implemented in July 2024.
Yeah.
Now, this is a document that we all signed. The top two of the union and the top two of Teacher Service Commission, that is the CEO and the chairman of the commission, the national chairman of the union, Kenya National Union of Teachers, and the Secretary General signed. A CBA must be deposited in a court of law.
Yes.
Which we did, and it is registered there. It becomes a legal document as per the labor charter, industrial charter, the laws of Kenya, and in fact, the requisite labor laws in this country. So Teacher Service Commission could not run away from it. And I want to tell you, if TSC did not implement the second phase of the CBA, it would have stopped us from negotiating a new CBA. You cannot introduce a new CBA when one other phase is not completed of the past CBA. And the deadline is the month of September. Yes, already our troops are ready from Kenya National Union of Teachers, and we have made our proposals. It would be a waste, the proposal for the 2025 CBA, 2029.
Yes.
So without implementing this second phase, it would have been a total waste. So we were to go out there and demand that this must be implemented. Other issues, promotions or capitation for medical cover, and the issue of third-party deductions.
Yes.
These are administrative issues. For example, matters of promotion. Kenya National Union of Teachers had a whole week with Teacher Service Commission in Naivasha, and we had assembled over 20,000 cases. We presented to TSC, and we were looking into these cases blow by blow. What was the reason for stagnation for this teacher? Can we get the reason? And we formed what we call a team, a technical team, with 4 from KNUT and 4 from Teacher Service Commission. And this is an ongoing process. So it is rather an administrative issue. It is not a labor issue as such.
Okay.
For the employment of the 46,000 to P&P, I want to tell you, we looked at it because when we withdrew the notice, we had a long discussion with the National Executive Council, which has the powers to call a strike or to withdraw or call off a strike.
Yep.
So these are the few issues that we looked at.
Okay.
We had a team that had 4 cases. One, these young and women went to the streets sometimes in the year. They were served with show cause letters. The same team were again served with, their contract being cancelled. The same team was invited for disciplinary action by Teacher Service Commission. The same team, that is the 46,000, were given warning letters. In our own perception and view, is this a team that you can call out and tell them, let us go on strike? Can you run out in the streets again? This is a delicate team that was already wounded. You know, the issue of industrial action needs a lot of, strategy. If you are leading a strike that, is members are not together as they move, you stand to lose.
Okay.
Others will be in school, others will be outside here. And then what we looked at, the major issue had been sorted out. Implementation of the
implementation of part 2.
Yes.
In implementation of part 2 of the 2021-2025 CBA, which was supposed to have been implemented by July this year.
Right.
By the time all of this was happening, with the meetings going on, that implementation took place, right?
Correct.
And we saw that some of the payments that were being sought after, whether it was an increment in salary, then was going to be taken into consideration for payments this August that ends tomorrow, essentially.
Correct.
That was going to happen. So
it has happened.
It has happened already.
Right.
So payments then have been taken into consideration.
Right.
Is that what formed the decision for Kenya National Union of Teachers to now say, all right, based on having done that, we will then withdraw the strike notice and our teachers will go back to school on Monday?
Not absolutely,
Okay.
because the issue of capitation for the medical cover, we were informed by Teacher Service Commission, which we confirmed, that the 832 service providers, those are hospitals, engaged by Minute, are treating teachers. So no teacher would be sent away and told we cannot treat you. We confirmed that. then again, the third-party deductions, banks and SACCOs confirmed. We have received money from Teacher Service Commission. Yeah. I've told you the other issue of promotion. My technical team and Teacher Service Commission technical team are in place and they're working on it. If you've been implemented the second phase of the CB, and these other issues are also in, why else do you want me to insist that teachers must go out?
Okay, so based on that is when we now said, at least KNUT
let us withdraw the notice.
Withdraw the notice and go back.
And it is a meeting that took close to 6 hours.
Okay.
6 hours.
All right. Your counterparts, then I really wish he was here, but we'll see if he will come. And all unions together, though, but now we're looking at many things happening at the same time. You jointly had an agreement.
Correct.
Or am I wrong? That we said we all together are on the same page.
We are together on the same page. Can we move together and face the employer?
Yeah. The CBA includes everyone.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
So why would it be then that KNUT decides we are going to go back, but KUPPET insists that there are certain things that are not done yet?
You know,
or is there
when you go to the negotiation
treatment
table, let me tell you, we are duty bound to negotiate on behalf of our members. When you go to the negotiation table, you have issues, 10 issues. If you've scored 7 out of 10, do you insist that you must still remain there for the other 3? You live to fight another war. Because it is very, very dangerous to engage in a strike action where you've achieved key issues. And if you insist, you might actually shoot yourself in the leg. I just want to give you an example of a hunter. Hunters go for, whichever animal is in the bush or in the forest. Antelopes, rabbits. You've gotten the antelope. It is placed here. Do you put aside the antelope and start going for the rabbit? Issues like medical cover, which we sorted out with Minute. And I want to tell you, we made a follow-up as Kenya National Union of Teachers. We sat with Minute top brass on the 27th to confirm to us, have you received capitation from Teacher Service Commission?
Yeah.
They told us, can you make a call to any hospital that has refused to treat your teachers? And we take action straight away. Because although we've not been funded fully, and we are in contract with Teacher Service Commission, the bit that we receive, we send to these hospitals. We don't want to have teachers out there not treated at all. And we made calls. I have 110 branches in this country. And I task every branch executive secretary to make sure that these hospitals, service providers, all of them across the country, and I mentioned 832, that is not a small number.
No, it's not.
Are treating teachers are in good time. That's what is happening. So could I still wait and, have teachers outside there when my demands have been met?
Did it need to go to the place where a strike notice was issued in order for TSC to then act? Because it seems as though that is what happened. Well, it doesn't seem as though. That's exactly what happened.
Come again?
That is exactly what happened. That the strike notice was issued, and that is when we saw action from TSC to do some of the things. Was it necessary that it had to wait for a strike notice to be given before they realized, okay, wait a minute, we've not implemented?
That is where we blame Teacher Service Commission. Much of this has been created by Teacher Service Commission. There are things that you must make a follow-up to very fast. We did not contract Minute. When Minute is not performing as per the contract, it is the duty of the Teacher Service Commission to make a follow-up and say, yes, we pay you for this contract. What is happening? Can you come up and save our faces? Failure to which, these teachers will go out. And exactly that was what we were prepared to do. If Teacher Service Commission could not go far and wide to make sure that Minute contracted hospitals are treating teachers, then hell would have broken loose. Yeah.
Okay. There are many calls at so primary schools now, learning is going on. Teachers are in school. This is continuing. But we cannot look at that action void of what is happening at the next level of learning. There have been calls from across board stakeholders, namely parents associations, saying, you know what, we also students themselves, especially those who are sitting their Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams this term, at the end of this term, who've said, okay, come back to school. We've had this discussion. After all, KNUT have come back to school because certain tenets have been met, which you've explained. Should that be the call for your counterparts as well?
Yeah, I think Teachers Service Commission should also give room to our counterparts now. You know, they went to court and there was a court order. Engaging in a strike action might seem very simple, but coming out of it, very complicated. Like in my case, those teachers who are not satisfied, you know what they told me? Secretary General, no, it is wrong to have withdrawn the notice. We wanted even to go out there for 2 days. It is long since we went out, and we have good rubber shoes. We're not used to them. You get? Is that reason enough? So we are appealing to Teachers Service Commission because I saw a letter by Secretary General Kuppet proposing to Teachers Service Commission to meet them so that they can resolve the impulse. And Teachers Service Commission insisted, please, first of all, withdraw the case in court. I mean, abide by the court order, because the court order was, can teachers go to school? You get?
Yes.
I want to insist here that Teachers Service Commission should move very fast, talk to Kuppet. I know what we gained is what Kuppet will gain.
Were they speaking in silos to the different unions? Because it seemed as though everybody was called in, have a conversation with KNUT, then maybe have a conversation with Kuppet, and then KNUT was quickly, KNUT quickly agreed and said, let's move on.
I think
were people being spoken to in silos when the notice for strike was given kind of jointly? So why then should there be separate conversation?
I think when we gave out the notice, Teachers Service Commission invited all of us.
Yes.
And we sat together. After this meeting, we had another kangaroo meeting to weigh our options. I think we were together to say, let us guide our members of the National Executive Council, that is in my case, and Kuppet also to guide the members of the Governing Council. Those are the two top organs that will direct that the strike continues or we withdraw. When I sat with mine, they listened. They said, fine, we've gone through this route and we know how we burnt our fingers. If the key issue has been sorted out, can you promise that the other administrative issues will be sorted out? We told them, no, part of this has been sorted out. For example, the third-party deductions. In the meeting, we had members of the National Executive Council who could confirm that indeed the banks had confirmed with them, the SACCOs had confirmed with them, that the issue of the third-party deductions sorted out. You know, there's being popular and doing the right thing. I think I should focus on doing the right thing, and that is what Kenya National Union of Teachers did.
Okay.
No, the matter is now in court. You know, the mention is on the 5th of September. And yet, after it all, it is what we gained that Kuppet shall also have gained.
So are you saying that Kuppet, before you take a break, Kuppet is not doing the right thing?
No. You know, sticking on the issue of the industrial action was not very wise. Because you have to weigh and see what is it that our members have gained. I want to tell you, the CBA implementation of the second phase had two major advantages. Advantage number one is payment of these monies in arrears. Number two, an opening for negotiation of a new CBA, a 4-year cycle of a CBA, without which, if this was not implemented, you don't have any business initiating a new CBA.
Indeed.
You cannot.
the Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, Collins Oyuu, is our guest this hour, and we're looking at, the current impasse. We know that KNU teachers have gone back to work. They did open the term and are teaching, but they formed, or rather gave the strike notice as a joint union strike notice. Your partners have decided they're not going back, and we're trying to look at some of the intrigues and say, what needs to be done to, number one, get their needs addressed, and number two, get them back into classrooms. The conversation continues after this. It's 28 minutes to 10.